Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Saz. Saz is from Sydney in Australia. So let's see what Saz has to say. Enjoy the interview. So,
Awesome.
so hello Saz, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, thanks so much for taking the time this evening. My goodness, on Sunday evening for the interview. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me, mate. What a fun time.
So tell me, how was your day today?
My day was busy. It was a busy Sunday. Yeah. I had meetings. I helped someone move out of their place. I had a show, so I was working. Yeah.
Tell me, what was the highlight of this weekend for you, just finishing up?
Oh, we had opening night of a show that I'm working on at the moment on Friday night, which was really lovely. And I just caught up with some mates today who I haven't seen in a while. So that's always just a nice thing to do.
So tell me, let's start to talk about the show that started on Friday. So tell me a little bit about it.
It's called Ulster American, written by David Ireland, and it's on at the Ensemble Theatre in Sydney.
Oh,
And it's a remount. It's a 75-minute comedy that deals with a lot of kind of political and social issues, and it's a bit of a head turner. There's a few things in there that can cause a little bit of controversy,
mm-hmm.
but it's designed to make you think and to make you kind of question your own standing on things and
Wow.
yeah, so it's a really interesting piece of theatre, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful cast. It's beautifully directed. Yeah.
And how long was the rehearsals for to get to Friday?
It was only 2 weeks. Yeah, so
Oh,
it's been a really quick turnaround, but everyone worked really hard. So yeah, it's been really good.
so tell me, Saz, where are you from?
I am currently in Sydney, Australia. Yeah, so have been back here for about 4 years. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And where are you from
yeah.
originally?
I grew up in a regional city in New South Wales called Armidale on Arnawan land. My parents moved there when I was about 18 months old. They're both teachers, so they both moved for jobs. And I grew up there on a farm, and it was a really beautiful childhood. I had the best time. Yeah.
Oh, and they still live in the same place, the parents?
No, my parents have moved to Newcastle, which is a couple of hours north of Sydney, because my brother and his young family are there. So they moved to be closer to the grandchild.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and and why Sydney? Why for you to to move to Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney for me, it's just work. It's the career that I'm pursuing. I don't want to move to Melbourne, which is kind of the only other real option in Australia for the entertainment industry. Um, I did my uni degree here, which was in acting. So I have connections and friends and really, a good group of people. So Sydney right now is where I'm based, and I don't know for how much longer, but yeah, for now it's right.
And what's the biggest joy of waking up in Sydney every single morning?
Oh, it is just a beautiful, aside from my people who are here and my chosen family, it's just a beautiful city. Like it really is. It's on the water. I live 2 minutes walk away from the harbour, and
Wow.
it's just stunning. Yeah, it's a really pretty city for the most part. For the most part, every city's got its dark bits.
Absolutely. Okay, Saz,
Yeah.
so during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career and also about your life so far, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
So before we start our journey within the magic box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Oh my God. That's really put me on the spot. Things that people don't really know about me. I think that my closest friends probably know this about me, but I probably come off as quite relaxed and chill. But I am incredibly ambitious and really driven. Yeah, I think that's probably the best, the biggest thing.
And you always been this way?
I think so. Yeah, Yeah, I think so. I think there's always been a bit of a drive and a little bit of a wanting to, I think once upon a time it was wanting to prove to others, and it's shifted into wanting to prove to myself.
Amazing. Saz, are you
Yeah,
ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
I think so.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Right, so I've got here my best full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just first to relax before the first question, right?
Cool. Bring it on. Love it.
Let's do it. Right, so before I start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Cool. Thank you.
Right, first question for you is, what is the most difficult thing have you ever done?
That is a really good question. I think the most difficult thing I've ever done is leaving friendships that I felt never didn't serve me anymore. I'm a really loyal person, and I give everything to my friendships. I really do, and I think it's sometimes I give too much, and I give too much of myself. So for me, choosing to end a friendship or choosing to take a step back is really, really hard. And I fortunately only had to do it on a few, like a handful of occasions. But yeah, I think in particular there was a time in my life where I just realized that it wasn't benefiting me, and it was in fact holding me back. So I had to make the choice to just walk away. So I think that, yeah.
And your best friends, they live in Sydney as well, or in different parts of Australia, of the world?
Kind of all around the world, actually. I'm very lucky in that I have beautiful friendships all around the globe. Some of my closest friends are here. Some of my closest friends are a few hours away. One of my closest friends is in California, who you have spoken to, which is beautiful.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And then some of my, best mates are, in Germany and other places. So, I have an incredible group of people who I can call friends. I am one of the luckiest people in the world to have the friends that I do. I wish we were all together in a tiny little village, but the joy is that I get to kind of travel the world and see people and see where they live and how they live and different experiences. And I probably wouldn't, as much as I wish I could see them more often, I wouldn't change that. Yeah.
What I like the most about close friends is you don't go around saying you're gonna be my best friend, you're gonna be my best friend. It doesn't work like that. When the connection is there, when the path crossed and you feel it, come on, that's it. Sometimes you don't see them very often, sometimes you don't talk to them very often, as we know, our lives is very busy all the time. However, when you talk to them, it feels great. It feels like a safe place to be.
Yeah. That's it. And I think I'm really fortunate in the space that I work in, theatre and film and screen. And it's a melting pot when you work on projects. And when you're lucky enough to work on projects where you create really deep friendships, those friendships I think are particularly special, because you do go through some really crazy emotional journeys in this business. So when you do form friendships, they're pretty tight. Yeah.
And what's the biggest difference between you and your best friends, and the biggest similarity?
Oh, I think I'm thinking about 3 or 4 different people right now.
Right.
And I think as a collective, our biggest similarity is our drive and our passion for what we do. And our goal is not to seek out fame or fortune, it's to create and connect and be part of a community. And I think that's why we're all attracted to each other in that particular way. Our differences, ooh, good one. I think for me, and I don't mean to bring myself down in saying this, I think I sometimes care a little bit too much about other people. And I let other people's needs kind of build up in front of mine. And this is the really beautiful thing about my people, is that they encourage me to think about myself first as well, and not kind of keep pushing other people into the spotlight, but realizing that I deserve that space too. So yeah.
Listen to your friends, they know very well.
Yeah. They do. I need to listen more often.
Next question. Right. Oh my God, this is my favorite question of the Magic Box, and came up to you.
Amazing.
Send away a message to someone, but you don't need to tell who this message is for.
Oh, whoa.
I got goosebumps now.
Okay.
I love the question. I love
yeah.
It's so powerful.
All right. Can I take a second to think about it?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think it would be to continue to believe in the journey and have faith that you know where you're going. And even if you don't, the destination is still going to be right for you.
Beautiful. Oh my God, I can see this person now. I know this message is for me.
Maybe it's for a lot of people.
But I'm sure it crossed your mind.
Yeah, there was a particular person. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Next question. Saz, before the next one, tell me how is being an artist, an actor, in the business world in Sydney? Do you feel like it's a good place to be? Do you think all the opportunities are there, or walk me through a little bit, in your opinion?
It's a really interesting time, I think, for creatives in Sydney and Australia at large. A lot of the conversations that we're having amongst ourselves right now is how hard it is. There's a cost of living crisis, there's a housing market crisis, particularly in Sydney. We don't get paid a lot, and there's not a lot of work in Sydney. In Australia, there's just not. Like, for the amount of artists and creatives and actors, there's just not enough work. So what we're all struggling to kind of find at the moment is the work to keep us going. And there's actually been some data come out very recently about how much musicians and creatives are being paid in Australia, and it's I think they said there was something about the average. This is to do with musicians, I think, but it all correlates. The average amount of money that a musician is making yearly in Australia for that job is under $30,000, which is not enough to live on. So it's one of those things where, as artists, as creatives, as actors, this is what we're pursuing and this is what we want to do, but we need to make money and we need to live. So it's an exhausting cycle where you kind of put so many hours into a project or that side of your career, and then you have to go and earn rent. So we're all finding it. Well, the people who I'm working with, and these are also people who have had stellar careers, who are well-known people and have had incredible opportunities. They're still struggling to make ends meet as an artist and as a creative. But on the flip side of that, I think what it can do, and what it's certainly done for me, is create stronger bonds, and you kind of find your people more easily because you are all on the same path and you're actually trying to build each other up, as opposed to fight for the tiny few kind of spots that are available. So I've got incredible friends. One of my best mates who's just landed an incredible lead role on a BBC series, and every single one of us is cheering her on because we know that she deserves it and she deserves that success. And she will in turn help lift other people, because to us, that's what it's all about. It's about helping the community. And so despite how hard it can be, and particularly right now, how hard it is, there is such a sense of community as well, which, again, as I said earlier, is really what it's all about for us. Yeah.
All right. Next question is, who was your first crush and why?
Oh, okay. I actually have one for this. I think it was, do you remember the TV show Jag? It
No, not
was an American series about Navy. I can't even remember what it was called. About the Air Force, the Navy, someone. And I
right.
think it was the lead guy on that. I think that's going to be the answer. I think after that, it's probably like Buffy.
And growing up for you as an artist and actor, did you have like idols or someone that you looked up to like growing up or not?
Yeah, I did. And I don't know if I even recognized it as acting idols. I think it was just people who I was like, man, they're cool. I'm going to be like that one day.
Right.
Because I don't think I really took the idea of acting seriously until I was 19 or 20. And that's when I was like, oh, I'm actually okay at this. But I think it was Sarah Michelle Gellar. It was Buffy. It was Keira Knightley. It was Holly Marie Combs from Charmed. Kate Winslet. And then it
Yes.
started to kind of turn into like, oh, serious acting people.
Right.
But there was, I actually think the first time that I saw someone and went, I want to do that job. There's a tiny little Australian TV series called Blue Heelers, which is it's not about a dog. Ironically enough, we've got that one now, Bluey. It was a cop drama and a set in this tiny little Australian town. And one of the lead actors on it is an Australian actor called Lisa McCune. And I remember watching that when I was about probably 8 or 9, and I was
Wow.
like, yeah, I think I want to do that, but I don't know if I can. So yeah, there's been a whole mixed bag of people that I think I've looked up to when I was little. Yeah.
Amazing. Next
Yeah.
one. Let's do it. Next question is, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, currently, many things. Money issues at the moment really, really do keep me up because, as we've discussed,
Yeah.
it's housing crisis, it's the cost of living crisis. From a personal perspective, it's that. From a kind of more global, looking at the world at large, I think we're in a really scary time period.
Yeah.
I think we can all kind of see a cyclical nature that's happening around the world, and it feels like we'll never learn from our mistakes, and that I find terrifying. That as a race, as the most evolved race, the most evolved animal on Earth, we repeat such horrific crimes and mistakes, and we just don't learn, and I just really feel like we're teetering on the edge right now as a society in the Western world, and I just think our Western egos will not allow us to learn, and that is scary. That's something that I would love to be able to say I can, I'd love to go and live in the UK in the next 6 months, but the way that the world's kind of going at the moment, I don't even know if that's going to be a possibility or whether it's a wise or smart decision. So I hate that it all comes down to like a personal selfish reason, but I guess at the same time, all I have so much empathy and feeling for what's going on around the world, and I do whatever I can to try and make it a better place. But at the end of the day, you kind of got to go, well, what do I do? What can I do in this world? And why are there so many selfish people who are causing so much pain and anguish for so many others? And yeah, I find that a really confronting thing in my mid-30s to kind of be battling with what the rest of everyone's life looks like. Yeah.
It's interesting you saying that, Saz, because I was thinking now, I remember like when the COVID, hit, like the COVID crisis, and I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, I think that's like the top of, it cannot happen anything after that, like so, drastically, and suddenly one thing, another thing.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness, every single day, I was talking to my colleague last week, said, my God, every single day there's something new. It's like,
I know.
what happened? You know, this past week now, I don't know if you saw it on the news, like the prime minister in Czech Republic just got shot. Like, and
Yep.
I was like, oh my
Yep.
God, is this like real?
Yep.
Like, when you think like, okay, okay, let's rest for it. Let's relax now. You know, I think a lot of things happen. But suddenly something happened, and as you said,
Absolutely.
it's scary sometimes.
Yeah, I think I remember having conversations around COVID and post-COVID and us. I think we all had this little like light moment where we thought, well, this is the shift. This is what we needed. This is what humanity needed to realize that there's a different way, there's a better way. And it
Absolutely.
just hasn't done that. Like we're so far down our own rabbit hole. It's so, but I do think there's a collective like conscious shift of consciousness occurring
Yeah.
in the population, in the
Hmm.
general population, but it's just not filtering up to the people who, you know, the 1% who control the actual running of the world, which is,
Yeah.
it's infuriating.
Let's hope, at least wish for better days to come. Let's
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean. I think that's the
Oh,
way.
absolutely.
Always keep like, okay, let's keep positive. I think, you know, I think nowadays people, they
Yeah.
are, you see so many people on social media like, you know, like spreading positivity, and you know, and I think that's good, even though, you know, there's those still those drastic things happening. However, sometimes, you know, it changes. You can
Yeah.
see something
Yeah.
positive, not social media, but
Yeah.
sometimes street, sometimes public
Yeah.
transport, somebody saying
Well,
something.
I would also like to hope that you hold yourself in that realm, because I really think that, you know, when I saw you interviewing Harry and kind of saw what you were doing, it's such a beautiful thing. So I
Oh,
hope that you hold yourself in that little room of someone who's sending positivity and joy out there, because that, to me, that's what this is. It's such a beautiful way to connect, and yeah,
I think
we
the
need
magic
more of that.
box. How about the magic box
Yeah.
here? This magic box.
And the keeper of the magic box.
Yeah, I'll keep it. You know what? It's quite old, my magic box, but I don't want to throw away because it's been so many stories here. I want to keep it the
Yeah.
most I can.
Oh my God. Never lose it. Never swap it.
It will be here forever for sure.
Good.
Next question. Hey, Saz. Next question is, okay, how to describe a perfect friendship?
Oh, I think the perfect friendship is when you can show up unapologetically at your worst and know that that person is going to be a safe space for you. But then on the flip side, you can be at your most chaotic, manic, joyful space, and they're also going to show up for you, and vice versa.
Yeah,
I think there is beauty in silence, and
like that. I like that.
when you can be silent with someone and it's not awkward, I think that is the sign of a really true friendship as well.
I love that. I really do.
Yeah.
You know, you can be your true self. There's no like barrier. You just can be your true
Yeah.
self. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just that's it. There's no other way of expressing the way you are. It's just be
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I think that silent company is beautiful company, and I think chaotic company is also beautiful. And in my line of work, it needs to be both.
3 questions left. Let's do it. Right. So before the next question, you know, when people go to those big main cities in the world, they tend to go to always the same places, which is it's normal. You know, you want to see the,
Sure.
you know, the yeah. But in Sydney, in your opinion, tell me a place that you think that people it's not advertised out there. They don't know and they should visit something somewhere or some place. Do you think that people they are missing out Sydney when they visit there? In your opinion?
I honestly think if you drive 2.5 hours north out of Sydney to Newcastle, you are actually going to have the best time. Like Newcastle is, I lived there for 6 months. My brothers lived there for about 14 years. And it is one of the strangest, most wonderful, weird cities I've ever been to. And I think it is just stunning. It's such a melting pot of working class, and you know, the arts, and it's kind of trying to become something that it's not quite yet. And
Right.
it's education. It's an education city. It's such a weird melting pot of a place, and I think it's brilliant. And it's it's a really kind of, it's on the way up to a really beautiful drive. Once you're kind of north of Newcastle and you start driving up the coast, I think that's where you hit really beautiful scenery, and Australia's really shown off. Sydney, I don't know. I don't know. I lived up in the northern beaches around Manly for a couple of years, and I know a lot of people do go up to Manly, but it's a beautiful place. Like, I wouldn't miss it if I wanted to visit Sydney as a tourist. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, if you could, oh sorry, you said you remember something.
No, I was just really thinking.
I was like, oh my God, she's saying something and I just cut her off. Anyway.
No.
Next question is, if you could sit down with your 13 years old self, what would you say?
Oh.
I don't know.
I would say,
I love your jump. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I would say it gets better. I know that's such a cliche kind of thing, but I think 13-year-old Saz was feeling a lot and didn't know how to navigate the world. I had a lot of stuff to deal with as a younger person. I was bullied a lot, and I kind of just had always experienced it, so I just kind of pretended it never bothered me. And then it wasn't until I got to my early 20s when I was like, oh, that's called trauma. And you know, it takes a lot of unlearning to get through that kind of stuff. So I think I've done a lot of, you know, hippy dippy, woo-woo kind of, you know, self-help work in the last few years. And I think I'd really just want to sit my little 13-year-old self down and say, you're allowed to have some confidence, and you can be proud of the person that you are, and just keep working to the dreams that you have, and make sure you don't forget that they're valid, just as valid as anyone else's.
Wow. What do you still have from, you know, Saz as 13 years old? Tell me something that is still on you when you think about your age at the time. There's something about your personality out there that's still on you?
Hugely. I've always been really empathetic and really interested in people, even though I was very shy. So I think that's never gone away. Like, my sense of what's right and my sense of justice and my sense of we should be living in a life of equity has, not that I would have known what that meant back then, but I've always had a sense of justice and knowing that the world was unfair, and it shouldn't be in a lot of ways. It shouldn't be as unfair as it is. Yeah, so I think I've maintained that for the last 20 odd years.
And something that's not there anymore, that's, you know, it stayed that 13 years old Saz.
I don't suffer people. I don't suffer idiots. I don't suffer kids. I don't suffer people who are rude. I don't let people walk over me. I will still be as kind as I can be, but I will definitely stand up for myself. And that is something that I have really had to learn to do, because I was not the kind of person who could stand up for myself until I was probably, honestly, probably only 5 or 6 years ago.
Wow.
In my 20s. Yeah. My self-worth was pretty low for a really long time. And again, it's because of the people that I've met along the way who have taught me that that's not the case. So, yeah.
Do you remember the moments that you literally changed it? I said, okay, now I see a clear path. Now I know there was a moment, a situation, or just naturally things start getting in a different direction.
I think so. I think part of it was fairly recent, to be honest with you, like within months recent. where I recognized a pattern in my own behavior that allowed people to take advantage of me. Whether it was conscious or subconscious for them, and whether it was I was receiving it consciously or subconsciously, I can't really tell. But I do think it's been very recently that I've really clicked into, I'm not going to be that person for other people anymore. I can still be kind, I can still be generous, I can still have space and hold space for people, but not at my own extent, not giving myself over. Yeah. So it's been a really long 35-year journey.
I'm so glad we connected now, Saz, because I can feel, you're very confident the way you are now. You can express the way you are, and I feel it, and it's nice. It's nice because
thank you.
All of us, you have to think that it can take time. You know what I mean? All of us, we have some.
And it's still a journey.
Absolutely, and you're gonna learn in 10 years' time. You're gonna look back. There's always something, but just the fact that you know already, it's already a big thing. You know what I mean? Not that you know, but you feel it. You know what I mean? And it's visible. Even though I'm not talking to you for the first time, but I feel like you are very confident, and you appreciate that past time as well, because it made the person you are today, and you know.
Oh,
so it's great.
I think I'm really grateful. I mean, everyone always says that they're grateful for kind of the struggles that they went through, and I'm also very aware that I'm incredibly privileged. I am incredibly privileged. I'm a white, person in middle class Australia, and I have a loving family, and I have beautiful friends, and I have money in the bank account. Not much, but enough. I'm incredibly privileged, and not to take away from the things that I've experienced that have been negative in my life, but I also am always very aware of how much worse I could have it. So it all bundles up together, and I'm really proud of the person that I've become. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. 2 questions left. Let's do it.
Woo.
Before the next question, let's see. You have the opportunity to, to put a play together, to put a project together where you could choose anyone to play your mother, anyone to play your dad, anyone to play your romantic partner, and also you can pay any director in the whole world, or like a director, movie director, to put all together. Who those people would be?
Oh my God. Okay. Director, Greta Gerwig, without a doubt. Greta Gerwig. We're going to be a little bit cheeky and add a screenwriter, if that's okay.
Of course, you get the biggest budget. You get the biggest budget.
Thank you.
Fun.
Thank you so much. Phoebe Waller-Bridge will be the screenwriter. My mother. Oh my God. Oh, my mom. I love my mom so much. I'm going to say Gina Davis. I'm going to be really cheeky, and I'm going to say Gina Davis. My dad, David Wenham. He's a beautiful Australian actor. David Wenham. He's probably a little bit young, but that's okay. But compared to Gina Davis, but they're fine. They'll make it work. My mom is older than my dad, so that's fine.
Rules. It's okay.
My brother.
Your romantic partner.
My romantic partner. Jodie Comer.
Oh my God, I like it. Wow.
Yeah, we'll go Jodie Comer. Yeah. I think that's a strong choice.
Okay. Right, next question for you is, describe yourself in one positive word and one negative word only.
We'll go positive first because we can. Driven.
Yeah.
I'm going to say driven. Negative. Can I say driven?
All right.
It feels like a double-edged sword sometimes.
I understand your point. It can make you, anxious sometimes, or it can be it can be negative as well. I totally understand. Understand your point.
Yeah, and I think it comes with like a caveat of never feeling good enough
That's
as
so true.
well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think
And
that's what I landed on.
and what's the biggest joy of being you, Saz? When you think about yourself, what do you like the most about being Saz?
I think the thing that I like the most about what I bring is I'm very good at collecting incredible people and bringing them together. And it is something that I've always done because I'm driven to create. And I have a knack for finding really incredible people and bringing them all together to create incredible things. And I really love that about myself. I really love that I have to like. I think I'm a really good judge of character for the most part. We all make mistakes.
Or
um, but it's like if I look at the cycles of my life, one thing that's remained true throughout is in I've always had this group of people that I've created with, and then in the next stage of life I've brought this group of people together and I've created with them, and the evolution of me is also the evolution of those people and what we create. Yeah, I'm really proud of that.
amazing. Ready for the last question?
I think so. It's been a journey.
I hope a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Not how I expected to spend a random Sunday night, but I'm loving it.
Oh, let's do it. It's interesting you say about Sunday nights, and of course because of the time zone. Most of the time, I had a few guests on the show from Australia, and most of the time it's been the weekends, of course, because it's evening there for you, and
Yeah.
during the weekend for me during the day I can do it. But it's funny because always in the evening. However, I had a lovely man once. He woke up at 4 o'clock. We had an interview at 5 o'clock in the morning for him there. So imagine how sweet. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't
God
be.
bless.
I know he's a nurse, and he said, no, Will, I'm an early bird anyway. But I said, oh my God, it was the
Yeah.
earliest person to wake up so early for the interviews. I just
Well,
love.
I have to be at work at 5 a.m., so I couldn't do it.
Oh my God, oh, I should. Oh my God, I feel bad now to
No,
kick you off that.
this is no. This is the life of what I do. I go, let's do it. These things are important. Like I said to you, this is like this is the connection that we should all be striving for. Like work.
Tell me about your tattoo in your hand. I can see what tattoo you have. Oh, tell me about it.
This is actually pretty special. I got it. It's called an intuitive tattoo ceremony. And there's this beautiful woman up in northern New South Wales who does these, I think, a few times a week. She's incredible, and you kind of write to her and you tell her why you want to get an intuitive tattoo, and you tell her as much as you want about your life and what this would mean, and she selects or she doesn't select you as someone to get a tattoo from her, and she'll do a tarot card reading the night before you go and see her, and she'll take into consideration everything that you've spoken to her about. She'll design the tattoo based off the reading and what you've said, and then you go to her and you do like a breath work and a meditation, and then she'll show you the tattoo. And I have this beautiful letter from her that explains exactly what everything means and why she's included it, and talismans that are for protection and strength, and yeah, it's really special. It's really special.
And
Yeah.
she's the one who does the tattoo as well. She's the one who does. That's incredible.
And
Never heard
the
anyone doing.
detail is incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Such a
Yeah.
great idea.
It was
It's very personal, isn't it?
incredible experience.
Wow.
It was so healing. Like, I know that's all very woo-woo, but it was incredibly healing.
I really like the idea.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like the idea about it's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Before the last question, Saz, tell me, the play that you just started, like, came out on Friday. Say the name again.
Ulster American.
Right. what's in, people who comes to see the play, the people come to see the play, what would you like them to take with them after they watch the play?
I think that play, you should walk away not knowing what to think, and having to really dissect your response to what you saw, and where you felt it was appropriate to laugh, where you didn't, why you didn't, how you related to the three actors or the three characters on stage. Yeah, particularly in the current kind of political climate. Yeah.
Right. Last question for you, please. What is your funniest memory of your time at school?
My funnest memory of my time at school was twofold, and this is kind of the two sides of my personality, in one experience, in fact. So I studied drama in my final year at school as I did all English and drama and some history. Maths and science were out the window. And we had our final practical drama exam. And then myself and one of my mates, who also played soccer competitively throughout high school, wow. We jumped on a plane as soon as we'd finished our final practical exams. We jumped on a plane to Sydney to come and play in one of our kind of finals. And so that was in our last few weeks of school. And we went from being big old drama nerds to getting on a plane and 3 hours later going and playing competitive sport. And that has been kind of my life in a nutshell. I've played competitive sport at the same time as pursuing art, and I think that's really encapsulating of my schooling experience was that one day, those two incredible things. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. All right, it's not dead yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with family.
Oh, my whole heart.
Okay. Money.
More.
Please. Fear.
Overcome.
Life.
Short.
Love.
Everywhere.
Sex.
Comfort.
Okay. Religion.
Scary.
Friendship.
The world.
Politics.
Also scary.
Desire.
Attachment.
Regret.
No.
Success.
Hard work.
Wish.
Freeloaders. There's a story behind that one.
Happiness.
Friends.
One word for Sydney.
Conflicted.
Okay. Australia, one word.
Home.
And the last one now, acting.
Freedom.
Amazing. As you said that you're very close to your family, yeah. Let's see. I meet all of them together for a coffee, and I'm gonna ask them, what is the most beautiful thing about Saz? What they would say, what all of them they would agree on.
How much I care. How much I care about people. Yeah.
And I'll turn around and go, okay, tell me something that she still needs to work on, to improve on. What they would say.
How to care less. Which is probably true, to be fair.
What's your star sign astrology, Saz?
Virgo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's play now, Saz, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Saz, you can ask me a question now.
I would love to ask you a question. My question is, and I hope you haven't you've probably got a variant of this at some time, I'm sure, but it's something that really interests me. What is the smallest thing in your day-to-day life that brings you the most joy?
Oh my God. You know what? I had over 1,200 interviews. Nobody asked me that. Wow.
Really?
Yes, nobody asked me that. Wow. Oh my God, such a sweet, beautiful question. What is the
Oh.
smallest thing that brings me happiness every day? Oh my God, that's sweet. I love the question. You put me in the spot, as you can see.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. Okay, it comes. I'm, thinking. I'm early bird. Yeah, always been. I love waking up more early. You know what, Saz? My grandmother. She, when I was 7 years old, around 17 years old, I remember. I remember the moment. We were on a farm, and she called me. Said, "Oh, come here. Let's." So she was kind of talk to me. We kind of have a little conversation, and she said something to me that I'll do every single day, and I'm gonna die doing every single day. She said to me, "My son," she always called my son. I'm gonna get emotional, I think, because we're so close. Anyway, she said to me, said, "My son, look, every day when you wake up, yeah, before you stand up, just have a moment with you. Be thankful for the day that's gonna start. Be thankful for everything, people around you." And she said, "Trust me, nothing bad is gonna happen to you. You're gonna have, have challenge days. You're gonna have things that are gonna make you sad. However, nothing is gonna do something bad to you, because you are protecting yourself. Every morning when you do that, you are protecting yourself." Since that day, Saz, since that day, every single morning I do that. It's I'm so grateful that she taught me that so early age, because I was very young, and every morning when I do that, it's powerful, because I feel so protected. Yeah. And when I say about early birds, I wake up in the morning, and when I leave my home, like, I feel so happy with this fresh air. And I think it's because of that, because somehow I agree to be protected. You know what I mean? I think it's such a small, back to your question, it's such a small thing, it's such a small, moment, but it means
Yeah.
the world. It's so powerful. So yes, that's something that I've learned,
Aw,
since a young age, 7 years old, 6, 7 years old, and I never. It's a ritual that I have every single morning, and actually I do
that's
that.
beautiful.
I know, and it's such a small thing. And in the evening, I have this tendency. Like growing up, I remember praying all the time, and I still pray. However, I have this little moment of myself of gratitude, and it's so
Mm,
powerful. It really protects you. I can tell you.
yeah.
You're saying about, you feel very lucky that, the way, you have so much privilege. And I can tell the same as well. I come from a family, hard work. I never had like things that I could travel, always being like, a very genuine family. We never had like big things. However, I'm
Mm,
very fortunate as well, because somehow those little things that my parents, my grandmothers, they were there for me, that I'm so thankful for that, because this means the world, and it protects you every day.
yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
protected every single day because of that.
That's
So such a little thing that's, for my day, but it means the world for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. My nan, my mum's mum, lived with us since when I was three to when she passed away when I was 24. So I always had my nan in the house with me, and it was the most precious thing. Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
share a personal event with you with my grandmother. I remember, like, we are not living in the same city, so sometimes I was going to visit her, and I remember she's crying when I was leaving, because we were so connected. I don't know, we were so
Mm,
connected, and I remember. So when she passed away, I was living in London already, and she spent like at least 5 days, like she was unconscious. She couldn't move her body. She was just literally in a bed. Anyway, it was very sad. However, my mom was with her all the time. Like she was with her.
mm,
And one day, I remember my mom called me, and I said, "Mom," she couldn't react about anything. The doctor said she can hear. She's still, she's conscious, but she cannot move. She cannot do
mm,
anything. However, my mom called me that day, and I said, "My mom, put the phone on her ear just for me to talk a little bit with her." And my mom did, and I started talking to her, and my mom said, my mom started crying, my mom, because the tears were come out of her eyes. So she, you know what I mean? So she could hear me. It was
Yeah.
for me, it was sad, but the same way as well, it's so beautiful because she still could hear me. You know, she could feel
Yeah.
something there. So that for me was a moment as, my God. So for me was like, she's still there, and I knew she was
Yeah.
going, but the memory is always going to be there. So grandparents, they are
Yeah.
very special for us, because I think they, you know,
Hugely.
we learn a lot with them, and they teach us
Yeah.
things that we take for life. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. That's a really beautiful story. Thank you for sharing it with me.
It's okay, absolutely. You put me in the spot. You made me go there.
Good.
Thanks for the question.
Sometimes we just have to go there.
No, absolutely, and I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad because sometimes those questions brings you to moments now. That's what about the magic box. About you going in certain place in your life that brings happiness, bring you sadness, bring you challenge.
Yeah.
Everything. It's a mix of feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Enjoy the
Absolutely.
interview.
It was beautiful. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so
I
much.
just think it's a beautiful thing. And you obviously spend so much time and you care so much about this. And I just think it's such a beautiful thing.
Thank
And
you
I
so much.
think this is the connection and joy that is so, I mean, we have it we have it so easily. And so it's
Yeah.
really beautiful when someone commits to doing something like this and you have. And I think you should be, yeah, I think you should be really proud of yourself.
It's
Like,
a
I think it's
beautiful.
just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I think people connect, express themselves. That's what we need. People speaking out about things that we help people out there. You never know, people going through situations that see someone
Yeah.
talking so open, it brings some comfort for them. So it's
Yeah.
great. Before you go,
Yeah.
you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I think the biggest thing I live by is just lead with kindness.
Hmm.
And if you feel like you can't be kind, then just step away for a minute and reassess. Because I think, as we've kind of touched on and spoken about, everyone is just trying to live their life as best as they can. And if you can't lead with kindness, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Absolutely. Kindness,
Yeah.
it's so easy. It's so easy to, it's not
It's
difficult
yeah,
to be kind. It's so easy.
no,
People
no,
appreciate a lot.
it's I think it takes a lot more effort to be anything but kind. So yeah.
Thanks so much, Saz. This was a pleasure having you on the show. Please go to sleep and have a lovely day tomorrow if you want. Okay?
I will. It's been so lovely. Thank you so much.
Keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure. Okay? Take
Yes,
care.
absolutely. Take
Good
care,
night.
mate. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
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 Night night.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.